Hello and welcome back to houseofastralis. My name is Kayla and today I will be your cosmic guide as we read for your new moon in Taurus. As always, this reading has been intended for your highest and best good. Take what fits and leave the rest behind, and all of my links will be in the description down below. I do have a quick announcement to talk about before we get into the astrology and into the cards, so I will insert that here. I am popping in here before we get into the reading just briefly because I wanted to take a second and let you know what I've been quietly working on behind the scenes because it's finally here. Enrollment is finally open. Like I have mentioned previously, I'm expanding House of Astralis with a monthly membership community called the Astral Commons, and I want to be clear about what this actually is, because it's not a tarot course and it's not a spiritual content subscription. Each month we work with a tarot archetype as a lens for shadow work and real inner growth. And I know shadow work is a buzzword or maybe overused, but it's self-work. It's getting deep into ourselves and about why we are that we are and growing from it. So instead of just consuming content, you're actually using it as a tool to look at yourself, at the patterns, at the blocks, and the things you keep circling around. The archetype gives you something tangible to hold alongside the deeper work. There is no tarot experience needed. You just need a willingness to show up for yourself. But the cool thing is that if you are wanting to learn tarot, this embodiment practice and this way of getting deeper with the cards in a self-reflective lens will actually help you with certain meanings or just being able to have your own meaning for that card when it may come up for you. So you don't have to read from the textbook and have to see what the guidebook says and what the key words are, because you'll have your own experience about this card. There are 3 tiers depending on how you like to work. If you are more of a solo, self-paced person, the entry tier gets you a monthly packet, reflection prompts, and access to the growing resource library. If you want community alongside the work, the middle tier adds a live monthly call and our Discord space. Here we can chat with each other back and forth about how the card is showing up for us that month and how we're experiencing that card, because all of us have our own take on it and it shows up differently for all of us, and I think that's so cool. It's so important for us to realize, oh, this card came up for you that way and it came up for me this way, but they're both valid. Just like the tarot has so many different meanings, it's okay and it all matters, and it's just another thing to add to your bank of situations about how this card may come up. And if you want the full depth, 2 calls, bonus drops, and your own individual card pull in the monthly forecast video while the group is still small, that's the top tier. Prices right now are the lowest they may ever be because I will be raising them as the community grows. So if this is calling you, now is the perfect time. Again, enrollment opens on April 26th, so by the time you will see this, the link is in the description below. So I look forward to having you there. I look forward to meeting you and doing the inner work with you, because I'm doing it alongside you. I'm doing this every month with myself, with you guys, and this is a great opportunity for me to see myself through the lens of the cards. And with that, that's my little spiel about what I've been working on, and I'm excited to be able to share this with you here and possibly see you in there. And with that being said, let's get back to your reading. So, this new moon in Taurus arrives on May 16th, and this one seems to feel kind of like a deep exhale. After the intensity of Scorpio's full moon and everything Aries season stirred up, Taurus brings us back to Earth. Literally, it grounds us just a little bit. This is grounded, slow, and steady energy, and this is exactly what this lunation is asking you to work with. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and it's a sign attributed to patience, values, and building things that actually last. So this new moon is not about rushing towards something new, it's about getting clear on what you truly value and making a real commitment to it. That commitment piece really sticks out to me personally. This is a powerful time to look at how you're stewarding your resources, your time, your energy, your money, and your talent. Are you investing them in things that actually align with who you are and what you want to build? Or are you spreading yourself thin on things that don't really matter to you? Taurus also asks us to reconnect with our bodies and our senses, to slow down long enough to actually be present, to let yourself enjoy what you have instead of always reaching for what's next. Ooh, I feel a little called out, honestly. The intention you set here doesn't need to be big or dramatic, because Taurus favors a small, consistent, devoted action over the grand gesture. Plant something real, commit to something that matters, and trust that good things take time. What are you ready to tend with patience and presence this lunation? As you can see here, we've got 2 piles, 2 different decks, and I will leave it here for you to choose your pile. I forgot to flip these over too, the crystals. So essentially I use these kind of as extra guidance for each pile, but also hopefully as a significator or something to jump out at you if you are deciding between 2 piles. Oh, how did I know this was going to come out? So for pile 1 with this Egyptian deck, we've got Rutilated Quartz. Unleash your potential, let your inner light guide you. And for pile 2 with this Tarot of the Nile deck, we've got Lapis Lazuli. Seek wisdom and truth. Open your mind to higher knowledge. So again, I'll leave it here for you to decide quickly. If you need more time, feel free to pause and I'll see you in your pile. Welcome, pile 1. Jumping straight into your reading, this Page of Swords card here is really talking about study. I think here, these cards are really calling for whoever chooses this pile to study, to speak up, to learn something. It's really taking that time to do it, to devote, to commit, because scribes, they do rigorous study, if I remember correctly, or if I have the correct information. Not anyone can be a scribe. You have to practice over and over and over again. So staying committed and staying with it, even if it's hard. Especially if you know that this is something you want or something that is meant for you on your path. You know, not everything hard is worthwhile, but also not everything easy is worthwhile. Just because it's hard doesn't mean you have to give up. And this is talking about planting the seed of that devotion. If you have to make the same glyph, the same character, the same thing over and over and over again until you finally get it, that's okay. Ground it out a little bit. Just get out of that ego mind that tells you not to do it, or that it's hard, it's too hard, and you can't do it because you're a failure or something like that. So definitely come with it in a grounded approach. Plant something there that will help you learn, that will help you speak up, communicate, anything with the swords really. Like I was saying, learning, writing, communication, which draws me to the 3 of chalices, because this is in the slowing down position. And I think it's asking you to really ask yourself, get truthful with yourself if you've been spending your time wisely and surrounding yourself with people who are beneficial to you, or who at least don't take all of your energy. Are you surrounded by good influences? Is essentially what this is saying. Are you filling up your emotional cups in a healthy way, or are you looking to escape and fill them in a not so positive way, something unhealthy? And it's time to slow down with that if it has maybe gotten a little bit on the edges and maybe a little rocky or not so healthy. So whatever's taking away from your presence, maybe slow that down just a little bit so you can step back and devote your time to something else. Because the 10 of Swords here is really coming out as what actually matters this season is getting out of your self-sabotage. When I was laying the cards down, self-sabotage was the first thing that came to me with this card, and it's making sense now with the way this reading is going and what the cards are mentioning. It's stop self-sabotaging, stop committing and doing things, spending your time with people, places, things that aren't so healthy and where your energy maybe is a little scattered. If you stop self-sabotaging, you may be able to take one of these exact swords and use it, wield it to your own advantage. So beneath all the noise and the obligations, fears is this self-sabotage. And you gotta ask yourself, where is this showing up in my life? And you might be able to trace it, you might be able to pinpoint, oh, that's self-sabotage, which leads me to this and this and this. It's definitely a lot of inner reflection as well, which I can totally see the page representing that. Is like you yourself, you are a novice here, and the more you learn about yourself, the more you can unravel these types of things and get to the bottom of the self-sabotage and change that for the better, to stop stabbing yourself in the back. And I love that the Queen of Pentacles is here for this Taurus new moon because it's really stopping and smelling the roses. She's literally smelling some flowers here, and I think that's really lovely because this is the time, the lunation, to slow down, take it easy, enjoy the little things in life. Spring has already sprung by now, and you may be able to observe and notice the life around you if you weren't so caught up in other things. So I think this is a good step. One action you can take is going outside, getting some sun, some vitamin D, and being present with it, and making it more intentional. You know, how many times a day do we go outside? To go from a building to your car, or whatever, we may be outside, but are we outside? Are we enjoying the outside? Are we soaking it up? I think there's definitely some room for improvement for a lot of us to stay present and consistent in order to really grasp just like the surroundings, our nature, which I like. In my personal life, it's been really interesting because I do go outside often, and I've noticed that nature just changes so quickly. There can be a time when I end up not going on a walk, and then the next time I see the same tree, but it has flowers or the leaves on it, and it's just like, what? I missed a day or two and it's already there. And it would be really meaningful in my own practice to stay more present. And I think there's a healthy way to do what's called sun gazing, and it's essentially, you know, when you wake up or sometime in the morning, being able to connect with the sun. And I guess it depends on how spiritual and esoteric or how practical you want it. Obviously, I don't think staring at the sun is the best thing to do for your eyes. You have to have some sort of protection there, but letting the sun rays soak on your skin, get some nutrients. Treat yourself well, self-care in general. Self-care will sustain you long term. And it draws me back to the unleash your potential, let your inner light guide you. So the page here is definitely like, hey, get to it. Unleash your potential here. Study, you know, do whatever you have to do in this case, but it's like your potential is here. Unleash it. Stop holding yourself back because that light, the inner light, will guide you. I love that. So with this, pile 1, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for allowing me to read for you, and I'll either see you in another pile or I'll see you in my next reading. Hello and welcome, pile 2, to your reading with Lapis. Seek wisdom and truth. Open your mind to higher knowledge. And jumping straight into this because the 4 of Swords is exactly what we've been talking about with Taurus season. Slowing down, opening yourself up, opening your mind to that higher knowledge. Sometimes that comes with meditation or slowing all the way down, getting grounded, pausing and taking time to open up to that knowledge. And I love this specifically paired with the crystal card because the person in the portrait, I believe, is getting knowledge from what looks like a religious figure because of the scepter, the Ankh scepter here, and perhaps passing that down. And then it's like, you know, when you're resting, or in this case being mummified because you're dead, it's being able to hold on to that knowledge and remember what you learned in order to move on, to open yourself up. So I see this as a long state of meditation, mindfulness, and of course not everyone can meditate and it doesn't work for everyone, but meditating isn't always just sitting there in silence for hours on end with no thoughts and nothing distracting you. That's not necessarily meditation. You can meditate doing many things, and meditation is just the act of mindfulness and being able to be fully in what you're doing. It's like focus, right? But not, because you're also in a flow state. So go easy on yourself. But I think you're being called and invited here to rest, to take it easy, to slow all the way down. It's more than just some pentacles. It's more than just taking it easy. This is a full-on stop. So if you've been overdoing it, this is that invitation. And it pairs exactly with this Queen of Swords. So this would be someone who's representing something. Like I'm seeing, you know, a boss, a manager, someone who has to delegate and is continually having to be of service, in the sense of like everyone's going to you for help. And you have to communicate a lot, either on your behalf or speaking up for the company or the place in general. This is a queen. She will speak on behalf of her kingdom. So in this sense, maybe slowing down in this area, just like overworking, overdoing it too much, under delegating and overdoing it yourself. Maybe there's room to hand it off to someone so that you can take this vacation, take this pause and rest. Because family time matters, being able to not overdo it and spend some time with your family, with the people who matter to you the most. Instead of being in work mode and in this position of ruling and overseeing things. Maybe it's like this is an opportunity for you to, again, stop, take a vacation, take some days off in order to spend time with your family. Because yes, the money matters, and maybe that's why you're overdoing it and overworking yourself. But being able to take a step back and spend some time with the people that you're working so hard for. Everyone wants to give their family a great life, but are you even involved in it? Are you present enough to know what's going on? It's like taking the work clothes off in order to be present. And if you can't take vacation or actual time off, I think use this to however it fits for you, and it's all metaphor, but leave what is overextending you, overburdening you at the door when you transition to a different place. When you come home, when you hang out with friends, like leave all that behind. And earlier I was mentioning perhaps work or being the voice of something, because it's swords, it's that communication, learning even. A teacher, like this can be anybody who, again, is the front-facing role or is in the swords category. Ooh, this one's really just straight to the point, because what will sustain you long-term is leaving. I think really you have to evaluate some of your things here, your life here, and determine what you can leave behind, what you can do to offload yourself, offload the burden. And not everything is worth dying for. So if you can offload some things, and it's a little emotional because you put so much into it, but at the end of the day, something is going to give, and would you want that to be you? You have to really take care of yourself. And pairing back with the lapis, it's seeking wisdom and truth. We can see it here in this deck because it's modeled after the Rider-Waite-Smith, but a story that we can gather from that is that the person in the Eight of Pentacles is going to either be the hermit or is in search of the hermit who's seeking that inner wisdom. Either way, this is that pull, that drive to leave something. Like this is a transitional space, so making sure to leave something behind. It's almost kind of like an offering, right? When we do these new and full moon askings and rituals, if you do that, we ask the moon to do things for us. We ask to be released of what we don't want to carry during the full moons, and we ask for new seeds, new opportunities, new growth during the new moons. But what are you giving in return? Is there an equal exchange? Ooh, equal. Because, the 4, the 8, the 10, these are all equal numbers, even numbers. And sometimes when you're in a managerial position or a position of higher ups, whatever, that may resonate with you, sometimes you have to put on a lot more of the work or responsibility and don't have anyone to hand some things off to. But it's important to make sure that you do that instead of taking it on all yourself, because it is a village. There's many people here to help you and many things to do that can hopefully alleviate some of the stress and pressure. So who can you lean on? How can you step back? Just a little bit. But yes, pile 2, this is your reading. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a great lunation during this Taurus new moon up until the next new moon, which will be in Gemini next month. Sending lots of love to you, and I can't wait to read for you again next time.